The twin moons of Viridia hung low in the lavender sky, casting an ethereal glow over the ancient city of Lyris. Their soft light danced upon the crystalline spires and marble pathways, creating a dreamscape that shimmered with magic and history. Lyris, the heart of Viridia, was a place where every stone whispered secrets of the past and every breeze carried tales of love and destiny. Ziana stood at the edge of the grand terrace, her emerald eyes reflecting the celestial beauty of her homeland. The breeze toyed with her silver hair, braided with threads of starlight, and her heart felt heavy with the weight of unfulfilled expectations. At 21, she was a year past the age when Viridians were expected to find their soulmate, a tradition so deeply rooted in their culture that it was almost a law of nature. Her family had tried to comfort her, saying that her soulmate might still be out there, somewhere in the vastness of Viridia. But Ziana had exhausted every possibility. She had participated in the sacred rituals, consulted with the elders, and even sought the guidance of the oracles. Each attempt ended in disappointment, the empty echo of solitude growing louder with each passing day. As the youngest daughter of one of Lyris's most respected families, Ziana had always felt the pressure to live up to the expectations placed upon her. Her parents, gentle and loving, had tried to shield her from the harsh whispers of society. Yet even their reassurances could not drown out the murmurings that followed her like a shadow. She must be cursed, some would say, their voices barely concealed. Perhaps her soulmate perished, others speculated, their eyes filled with pity. But Ziana refused to believe that her destiny was sealed by fate's cruel hand. The ancient scrolls spoke of rare instances where a Viridian's soulmate could not be found on their home planet. Those individuals, driven by a burning need for completion, embarked on journeys across the universe. Their quests were perilous, filled with uncertainty, yet they were often rewarded with the profound connection they sought. Ziana had made her decision. She would leave Viridia in search of her soulmate, no matter how far the journey took her. The thought of traversing unknown galaxies, encountering alien cultures, and facing countless dangers did not deter her. It only fueled her determination. The day of her departure arrived too soon. Her family gathered in the courtyard of their ancestral home, a place where laughter and love had always thrived. Her mother, Alara, clutched a delicate pendant, a family heirloom, and fastened it around Ziana's neck. The pendant, a silver star encasing a drop of Viridian crystal, was said to protect the wearer from harm and guide them back to their loved ones. "Remember," my dear Alara whispered, her voice trembling with emotion, "this will keep you safe. And know that wherever you go, our love will be with you." Her father, Arian, a stoic man of few words, placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. His eyes, normally stern, softened with unspoken fears and hopes. "Follow your heart, Ziana, it will lead you true." Her siblings, Eric and Lyra, embraced her tightly, their eyes shining with pride and sorrow. "We'll be waiting for you," Eric said, his voice breaking. Lyra, the youngest, handed Ziana a small journal. "Write to us," she pleaded. "Tell us about the worlds you see." With her family's blessings and a heart full of resolve, Ziana made her way to the celestial port. The journey through Lyris was a blur of familiar sights and sounds, each step echoing with memories of a life she was about to leave behind. The grand terrace, the temple of stars, the market squares bustling with life, everything seemed to whisper a bittersweet farewell. At the port, the air buzzed with the energy of interstellar travelers and the hum of spacecraft preparing for departure. Ziana's ship, the Starbound, awaited her, its sleek, silver form gleaming under the twin moon's light. Captain Cirrus, an experienced navigator and a family friend, greeted her with a warm smile. "Ready for an adventure, Ziana?" he asked, his eyes twinkling with encouragement. "As ready as I'll ever be," she replied, trying to mask her nerves with a brave smile. With a final wave to her family, who stood huddled together, tears glistening in their eyes, Ziana boarded the Starbound. The ship's interior was a marvel of Viridian engineering, designed for long voyages through the cosmos. She took her place in the observation deck, her favorite spot, and watched as the ship's engines roared to life. The ascent was smooth, the transition from the familiar skies of Viridia to the endless expanse of space both exhilarating and daunting. Ziana pressed her hand against the window, watching as her home planet grew smaller, eventually becoming just another star in the vast universe. The journey ahead was filled with uncertainty, but also with hope. Ziana knew that the path to finding her soulmate would not be easy. There would be challenges, dangers, and moments of despair, but she was driven by a force stronger than fear, a belief in the power of love and destiny. As the starbound ventured into the unknown, Ziana's thoughts drifted to the stories of old, tales of Varadians who had found their soul mates on distant worlds. Each story was unique, yet they all shared a common thread: a love that transcended boundaries, defied odds, and brought souls together across time and space. Ziana's journey had just begun. The universe, vast and mysterious, awaited her with open arms. And somewhere out there, she believed, her soul mate was waiting too. The thought filled her with a sense of purpose and a renewed determination. No matter how far she had to travel, no matter the trials she would face, Ziana was ready to embrace her destiny. And so, with a heart full of hope and a spirit unyielding, Ziana ventured forth into the cosmos, her quest for true love leading her on a path of discovery, adventure, and ultimately, fulfillment. The stars themselves seemed to guide her, their twinkling light a promise of the extraordinary journey that lay ahead. The vastness of space seemed to stretch on forever, an endless sea of stars and nebulae that shimmered with cosmic wonder. For weeks the starbound had traversed this celestial expanse, carrying Ziana further and further from Varadia. Each day brought new sights: swirling galaxies, distant supernovae, and the silent, majestic dance of planets around their suns. Yet, despite the breathtaking beauty of the cosmos, Ziana's thoughts remained fixed on her quest. The journey had not been without its challenges. The loneliness of space travel was palpable, and the vast distances between stars could make even the most resolute traveler feel small and insignificant. But Ziana found solace in her mission and in the companionship of Captain Cirrus and the crew. They shared stories, laughed together, and marveled at the wonders they encountered. Still, a part of Ziana remained detached, her mind constantly drifting to the hope of finding her soul mate. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the starbound approached its destination, Earth. The blue-green planet came into view, spinning gracefully against the backdrop of the infinite void. Ziana's heart quickened with anticipation. Earth, with its rich diversity and complexity, held the promise of something new, something that could change her fate. As the ship descended through Earth's atmosphere, Ziana watched in awe as the clouds parted to reveal sprawling landscapes below. She saw oceans glistening under the sun, vast forests teeming with life, and bustling cities filled with human activity. It was a world so different from Varadia, yet it pulsed with a vibrant energy that stirred her soul. The starbound landed in a remote area, far from prying eyes, to allow Ziana to acclimate to her new surroundings without drawing attention. Captain Cirrus accompanied her as she stepped out onto Earth's soil for the first time. The air was rich with the sense of nature, and the sounds of wildlife filled her ears. "Welcome to Earth," Ziana Cirrus said, his voice filled with warmth. "Remember, this is just the beginning. Stay true to your heart, and you'll find what you're looking for." With a final embrace, Ziana bid farewell to the crew of the starbound. She watched as the ship ascended back into the sky, becoming a distant speck before vanishing entirely. She was alone now, standing on the threshold of a new world. Ziana's first days on Earth were a whirlwind of discovery. She traveled through rural areas, soaking in the tranquility of nature. She walked through fields of wildflowers, their colors vibrant and alive, and wandered through dense forests where the canopy above created a mosaic of light and shadow. The beauty of Earth's natural landscapes touched something deep within her, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life. But it was in the cities where Ziana truly began to understand the complexity of Earth's inhabitants. She found herself in bustling metropolises, surrounded by towering skyscrapers and a sea of humanity. The diversity was astounding: people of all shapes, sizes, and colors, each with their own stories and dreams. It was overwhelming at times, but also exhilarating. To blend in, Ziana adopted the appearance of an Earthling, using her Varadian abilities to alter her features subtly. She chose a guise that was both familiar and yet unique: auburn hair, green eyes, and a smile that could light up a room. It was important to her that she respect the customs and ways of the people she would be living among. She spent her days exploring, observing, and learning. The culture, the traditions, the way people interacted, all of it was fascinating. She visited museums, attended concerts, and dined in small cafes where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and baked goods filled the air. She was particularly enchanted by the stories she heard: tales of love, loss, triumph, and hope. It was these stories that made her feel a deeper connection to Earth and its people. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Ziana found herself drawn to a small-town festival. Lanterns hung from trees, casting a warm glow over the streets. Music filled the air, a lively melody that seemed to beckon everyone to dance. The townsfolk moved with an infectious joy, their laughter ringing out like a chorus of happiness. Ziana wandered through the festival, her senses alive with the sights and sounds. She watched children chasing each other with sparklers, their giggles a symphony of innocence. She admired the handiwork of local artisans, their crafts reflecting the rich cultural tapestry of the town. And she sampled the food sweet, savory, and utterly delightful. It was at a small, rustic bar at the edge of the festival that she first laid eyes on Ethan. He stood behind the counter, effortlessly mixing drinks with a practiced ease. His dark hair fell in casual waves around his face, and his blue eyes sparkled with a kindness that drew people to him. Ziana felt an inexplicable pull, a magnetic force that urged her to approach. "Can I get you something?" Ethan asked, his voice smooth and welcoming. Ziana smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her. "Surprise me," she replied. Ethan chuckled, his eyes twinkling. "All right, one surprise coming right up." As he prepared her drink, they began to talk. Ziana found herself opening up to him in a way she hadn't with anyone else. She spoke of her travels, carefully omitting the details of her extraterrestrial origin, and Ethan shared stories of his life in the small town. He was compassionate and insightful, his words filled with a depth that resonated with her. They talked for hours, the festival continuing around them as if they were in their own little world. Ziana felt an unfamiliar but welcome sense of peace in Ethan's presence. It was as if he could see into her soul, understanding her in a way that transcended words. She found herself laughing, something she hadn't done in a long time, and the sound felt like a release of all the pent-up emotion she had carried with her. As the night drew to a close, Ziana felt a sense of reluctance to leave. But Ethan, sensing her hesitation, smiled reassuringly. "This town isn't going anywhere, and neither am I." Ziana's heart fluttered at his words. "I'd like that," she said softly. "I'd like to see you again." And so, over the following days and weeks, Ziana and Ethan's bond grew stronger. They explored the town together, discovering hidden gems and sharing countless moments of joy. Ethan introduced her to his friends, who welcomed her with open arms, and Ziana found herself becoming a part of the community. She felt a sense of belonging that she hadn't experienced since leaving Varadia. Through their deep conversations, Ziana learned about Ethan's dreams and fears, his hopes and regrets. She shared her own, careful to keep her true identity hidden, but revealing enough to forge a connection that was profound and true. They spent long nights under the stars talking about the universe and the mysteries it held. Ziana couldn't help but feel that the stars had indeed guided her to this place, to this person. Yet, as much as she cherished her time with Ethan, a part of her remained vigilant. She knew that her quest was far from over. The pressure to find her soulmate was a constant undercurrent, and she couldn't shake the fear that this happiness might be fleeting. But for now, she chose to savor each moment, allowing herself to believe in the possibility that her journey might finally be leading her to the love she had been searching for. Ziana's arrival on Earth had been the beginning of a new chapter in her life. She had ventured into the unknown, faced her fears, and found a connection that felt like destiny. The journey was far from over, but for the first time in a long time, Ziana felt a glimmer of hope. And as she stood with Ethan, watching the sunrise over the horizon, she couldn't help but wonder if she had finally found the place where she belonged. As the days turned into weeks, Ziana and Ethan's relationship blossomed into something beautiful and profound. Their connection deepened with each shared moment, weaving their lives together in ways that felt both new and timeless. Maplewood, with its quaint charm and close-knit community, became the backdrop for their unfolding love story. Ziana spent her days exploring the town and its surroundings, often accompanied by Ethan. They would walk through the bustling markets, where vendors greeted them with warm smiles and the air was filled with the scent of fresh produce and baked goods. Ethan introduced her to everyone, and soon, Ziana felt like a true member of the community. She volunteered at the local library, helped at the farmer's market, and even joined in on community projects, all the while feeling a growing sense of belonging. One of their favorite places to visit was the Maplewood Forest, a sprawling woodland that bordered the town. The forest was a sanctuary of towering trees, winding trails, and hidden clearings. It was in these tranquil surroundings that Ziana and Ethan found a deeper connection, away from the bustle of daily life. They would spend hours walking hand in hand, talking about their dreams and discovering new paths that led to secluded spots where they could sit and enjoy the peace of nature. On one such walk, they stumbled upon a small, crystal-clear lake hidden deep within the forest. The water shimmered under the dappled sunlight, and a sense of serenity enveloped them. They sat by the water's edge, their reflections mingling on the surface. "Tell me more about your world," Ethan said, his voice soft and curious. "What was it like growing up on Varadia?" Ziana took a deep breath, the memories of her homeland flooding back. "Varadia is a place of incredible beauty and magic," she began. "Our cities are built of crystal and stone, and everything is intertwined with nature. We have a deep connection to the land and the stars. Growing up, I always felt the presence of something greater, something that guided us and protected us." Ethan listened intently, his eyes never leaving hers. "It sounds like a dream," he said. "I can see why you miss it." "I do," Ziana admitted. "But I found something here that I never expected. I found you, and this place has become special to me because of you." Ethan smiled, his fingers entwining with hers. "I'm glad you feel that way. You've brought something magical into my life, Ziana. I can't imagine my days without you." Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, and Ziana felt a profound sense of happiness that she had never known before. They shared everything: dreams, fears, hopes, and even their deepest secrets. Ziana found herself opening up to Ethan in ways she hadn't with anyone else. She told him about her journey, the pressure she felt from her family, and the quest to find her soulmate. Ethan listened with a mixture of fascination and empathy. "I can't imagine what it must have been like, feeling that kind of pressure," he said. "But I'm glad you came here. I'm glad we found each other." Ziana smiled, her heart swelling with love. "Me too, Ethan. You've made this journey worthwhile." As their relationship deepened, Ziana began to feel the weight of her secret. She had not yet told Ethan the full truth about her origins, about being from another planet. She feared how he might react, worried that it would change the way he saw her. But she knew that she couldn't keep it from him forever. He deserved to know the truth. One evening, as they sat on the porch of Ethan's house, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky, Ziana decided it was time. She took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly. "Ethan, there's something I need to tell you," she said, her voice steady despite her nerves. Ethan turned to her, his expression concerned but attentive. "What is it, Ziana?" She took his hand in hers, looking into his eyes. "I've told you about my journey, about how I left my home to find my soulmate. But there's more to it than that. The reason I left is because I'm not from this world. I'm from a planet called Varadia, far away in another galaxy." Ethan's eyes widened, and for a moment he was silent. Ziana's heart pounded in her chest, fearing his reaction. "You're an alien?" he asked, his voice filled with wonder rather than fear. "Yes," Ziana replied. "I didn't know how to tell you. I was afraid it would change everything between us. But I want you to know the truth. I want to be honest with you, no matter what." Ethan stared at her for a moment longer, then a slow smile spread across his face. "Ziana, I've always known there was something extraordinary about you. This doesn't change how I feel. If anything, it makes me love you even more." Tears of relief and joy filled Ziana's eyes. "You mean that?" "Absolutely," Ethan said, pulling her into a tight embrace. "You're still the same person I fell in love with. Your origins don't change that." Ziana held on to him, feeling a weight lift off her shoulders. She had feared rejection, but instead she found acceptance and love. Ethan's reaction reaffirmed her belief that their connection was truly special, something that transcended the boundaries of their worlds. With the truth out in the open, their relationship grew even stronger. They spent countless nights talking about Varadia, with Ziana sharing stories of her people's customs, their technology, and their spirituality. Ethan was fascinated by it all, and his curiosity only deepened their bond. One day, as they sat by the lake in the forest, Ethan turned to Ziana with a thoughtful expression. "Do you ever miss your family?" he asked. Ziana nodded. "Every day. I miss them terribly. But I know that my journey isn't over yet. There's still so much I need to understand about myself and my place in the universe. Ethan took her hand. Then let's make a promise. No matter where this journey takes us, we'll face it together. We'll find a way to bridge the gap between our worlds. Ziana's heart swelled with love and gratitude. I promise, she said, her voice filled with determination. Together, we'll create something new, something beautiful. Their love became a beacon of hope, not just for them but for those around them. Word of their unique relationship spread through Maplewood, and while some were skeptical, many were inspired by their story. They saw in Ziana and Ethan a testament to the power of love and the possibility of unity between different worlds. Ziana and Ethan faced challenges together, both large and small. There were moments of doubt, times when the weight of their differences seemed too much to bear. But each time they found strength in their love and in the support of their community. One particular challenge came in the form of a local journalist, Sandra Mills, who had heard rumors about Ziana's otherworldly origins. Sandra was known for her tenacity and her ability to uncover the truth, and she was determined to get to the bottom of the mystery surrounding Ziana. One afternoon, Sandra approached Ziana and Ethan at the market. "Ziana, Ethan, do you have a moment?" she asked, her tone polite but insistent. Ziana exchanged a glance with Ethan, then nodded. "Of course, Sandra. What can we do for you?" Sandra pulled out a small notebook and pen. "I've been hearing some interesting stories about you, Ziana. Stories that you're not from around here. I'd like to know more about you if you're willing to share." Ziana took a deep breath, her heart pounding. She knew this moment would come eventually. "Sandra, there's something you should know. The rumors are true. I'm not from Earth. I'm from a planet called Varadia." Sandra's eyes widened, and she quickly jotted down notes. "This is incredible. Can you tell me more about Varadia and why you're here?" Ethan squeezed Ziana's hand, offering silent support. Ziana nodded, feeling a sense of resolve. "Varadia is a beautiful place, filled with magic and wonder. I left because I was on a quest to find my soulmate, and that quest led me here to Ethan and to Maplewood." Sandra's expression softened. "That's quite a story, Ziana. And what do you hope to achieve by sharing this with me?" "I hope to show that love and connection can bridge any gap, even between different worlds," Ziana said. "I want to inspire others to look beyond their differences and find common ground." Sandra smiled, closing her notebook. "Thank you for sharing your story, Ziana. I think people need to hear this." The article Sandra wrote about Ziana and Ethan's love story became a sensation in Maplewood. It sparked conversations about acceptance, unity, and the power of love. While not everyone was immediately convinced, the story planted seeds of change that would grow over time. Ziana and Ethan continued to build their life together, facing each challenge with courage and love. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever came their way. Together, they would create a legacy of love that would inspire others to believe in the power of connection and the beauty of embracing the unknown. As the seasons changed and the years passed, Ziana and Ethan's bond remained unbreakable. They built a home together, a place where love and understanding thrived. They celebrated their differences and found strength in their unity. And through it all, they knew that their love was something extraordinary, a force that could bridge worlds and create a future filled with hope. Ziana's journey had brought her to Earth, to a small town filled with warmth and community, and to the love of her life. She had found her soulmate in Ethan, and together they had discovered a new kind of magic, one that transcended the stars and brought their worlds together in a beautiful, harmonious dance. In the end, Ziana realized that her quest was not just about finding her soulmate, but about discovering the boundless possibilities of love and connection. And as she stood with Ethan, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky, she knew that their journey was only just beginning. Together, they would continue to explore, to grow, and to create a legacy of love that would inspire generations to come. The air in Maplewood carried the crisp bite of autumn as the leaves turned to shades of gold and crimson. It was a season of transformation, and for Ziana and Ethan, it signaled a time of significant change in their lives. The revelation of Ziana's true origins had brought them closer together, but it also heralded challenges they had not yet faced. One crisp morning, Ziana and Ethan sat together on the porch of their cozy cottage, sipping hot apple cider. The world around them was quiet, the only sounds being the rustle of leaves and the distant chirping of birds. It was a perfect morning, but a sense of unease lingered in Ziana's heart. "Ethan, do you ever worry about what the future holds for us?" Ziana asked, her voice soft but filled with concern. Ethan looked at her, his expression thoughtful. "Of course I do, Ziana. There are so many unknowns. But I believe in us. I believe that we can face anything together." Ziana nodded, taking comfort in his words. "I feel the same way. But sometimes I wonder how much our love can withstand. The differences between our worlds, the expectations from both sides. It's overwhelming." Ethan reached out and took her hand, his touch warm and reassuring. "We'll find a way, Ziana. We've already overcome so much. We can do this." Their resolve would soon be put to the test. News of Ziana's extraterrestrial origin had spread beyond Maplewood, drawing attention from far and wide. Most people were fascinated, some were skeptical, but there were also those who viewed her with suspicion and fear. It wasn't long before government officials took notice. One afternoon, while Ziana and Ethan were enjoying a quiet lunch at a local cafe, a group of stern-looking men in suits approached their table. The leader, a tall man with a military bearing, introduced himself as Agent Harris. "Miss Ziana, Mr. Ethan, I'm Agent Harris from the Department of Extraterrestrial Affairs. We've been made aware of Miss Ziana's unique origins, and we have some questions." Ethan immediately sensed the tension and stood protectively beside Ziana. "What do you want from us?" he asked, his voice firm. Agent Harris maintained a professional demeanor. "We need to understand the nature of Miss Ziana's presence here. This is a matter of national security. We'd like you both to come with us for further discussions." Ziana's heart raced, but she met Harris's gaze with determination. "We'll cooperate, but we expect to be treated with respect and fairness." Harris nodded. "Of course, Miss Ziana. We only seek to ensure the safety of all parties involved." The journey to the government facility was tense and silent. Ziana and Ethan were escorted to a sleek, modern building on the outskirts of a city. Inside, they were led to a large, sterile room filled with advanced technology and monitors displaying various data streams. Agent Harris gestured for them to sit at a long table. "Please, make yourselves comfortable. We'll start with some basic questions." The questioning was exhaustive. They asked Ziana about her home planet, her journey, and the nature of her abilities. They inquired about Varadia's technology, its political structure, and its relationship with other civilizations. Ziana answered as best as she could, aware of the gravity of the situation. Ethan remained by her side, offering silent support. He could see the strain on her face, the effort it took to remain composed under such scrutiny. He held her hand tightly, letting her know that she was not alone. After hours of questioning, Agent Harris leaned back in his chair, studying them carefully. "Thank you for your cooperation, Ms. Ziana. We understand that your intentions are peaceful, but we must ensure that your presence here does not pose any risks." Ziana met his gaze steadily. "I have no intention of causing harm. I'm here because I believe in the power of love and connection between our worlds." Harris nodded, a hint of respect in his eyes. "We'll need to conduct further analysis and discussions. In the meantime, you are free to return home, but we may call upon you again." As they left the facility, Ziana felt a heavy weight lift off her shoulders, but the encounter had left a mark. She knew that their lives would never be the same. They would always be under scrutiny, their every move monitored. Back in Maplewood, the community's reaction was mixed. Many people continued to support Ziana and Ethan, rallying around them with kindness and understanding. But there were others who viewed them with suspicion, their fears stoked by the presence of government agents. One evening, as they walked through the town square, Ziana overheard a group of locals talking. "Can we really trust her?" one man said, his voice low but anxious. "She's not one of us." "She seems nice, but who knows what she's hiding?" a woman added, her tone wary. Ziana felt a pang of hurt, but Ethan squeezed her hand reassuringly. "Don't let them get to you," he whispered. "We know the truth." Despite the support from many, the couple faced increasing hostility. Vandalism began to appear near their home, graffiti with messages of fear and anger. They received anonymous threats, and there were times when they felt the eyes of strangers watching them with suspicion. The tipping point came one night when a group of masked individuals surrounded their cottage, shouting hateful slogans and throwing rocks. The sound of breaking glass and the sight of flames flickering in the night sent a chill down Ziana's spine. Ethan sprang into action, grabbing a fire extinguisher and dousing the flames while Ziana called the authorities. The police arrived quickly, dispersing the mob and securing the area. But the damage had been done. The sense of safety they had built around their home had been shattered. In the aftermath, Ziana and Ethan sat together in their living room, the smell of smoke still lingering in the air. Ziana's eyes were filled with tears, her body trembling with fear and frustration. "Why do they hate us, Ethan?" she whispered. "All I've ever wanted is to find love and peace." Ethan held her close, his heart aching for her. "Fear makes people do terrible things, Ziana, but we can't let it break us. We have to stand strong together." The incident prompted a renewed wave of support from their friends and neighbors. The community rallied around them, organizing a vigil to show solidarity and denounce the acts of hatred. People brought flowers, candles, and messages of hope, creating a sea of light that illuminated the darkness. As Ziana and Ethan stood before the gathering, Ziana felt a renewed sense of strength. She saw the faces of those who believed in them, who understood the power of their love. She knew that their journey was far from over, but they were not alone. Ethan spoke first, his voice steady and strong. "Thank you all for being here tonight. Your support means the world to us. We are here to show that love and understanding can overcome fear and hatred. Together, we can build a future where everyone is accepted for who they are." Ziana stepped forward, her heart full of gratitude and determination. "I came to this world searching for my soulmate, and I found so much more. I found a community that has embraced me, and a love that transcends worlds. We must continue to stand together to show that love knows no boundaries." The crowd erupted in applause, their voices joining in a chorus of support. Ziana felt a surge of hope, knowing that they had the strength to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their love was a beacon, a guiding light that would lead them through the darkness. In the days that followed, Ziana and Ethan worked to rebuild their lives. They repaired their home, strengthened their bonds with the community, and continued to share their story. They knew that there would always be those who feared what they didn't understand, but they chose to focus on the positive, to build bridges instead of walls. Ziana's connection to her home planet remained strong, and she began to explore ways to bridge the gap between Varadia and Earth. She shared her knowledge and technology with trusted scientists and leaders, hoping to foster a deeper understanding and collaboration between their worlds. Ethan supported her every step of the way, his love unwavering. They knew that their journey was not just about their own happiness, but about creating a legacy of love and unity that would inspire future generations. As the seasons changed once again, Ziana and Ethan stood on the porch of their rebuilt home, watching the first snowflakes of winter drift gently to the ground. The air was crisp and cold, but their hearts were warm with the love they shared. "We've come so far," Ziana said softly, her eyes fixed on the snowy landscape. "But there's still so much to do." Ethan nodded, wrapping his arm around her. "We'll face it together, Ziana. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." And with that, they stepped forward into the future, their hearts full of hope and determination. Their love was a force that could bridge worlds, and together, they would continue to build a legacy of understanding, acceptance, and unity. The journey was far from over, but they were ready to embrace whatever came their way, knowing that their love would guide them through it all. Winter in Maplewood arrived with a blanket of pristine snow, transforming the town into a picturesque winter wonderland. Ziana and Ethan stood at the heart of this transformation, their love continuing to grow amidst the challenges they faced. The community's support and their unwavering belief in each other fortified their resolve. They knew that the next step in their journey was to bridge the gap between Earth and Varadia, fostering understanding and cooperation between their worlds. The idea began to take shape during one of their quiet evenings by the fireplace. Ziana and Ethan sat together, wrapped in a cozy blanket, the flickering flames casting a warm glow across the room. They discussed the future and how they could create a lasting legacy that would inspire others. "Ethan, I think it's time we take a more active role in connecting our worlds," Ziana said, her eyes reflecting the firelight and her determination. "We have the knowledge and the means to make a difference. We just need to find the right way to do it." Ethan nodded thoughtfully. "You're right, Ziana. We've already shown that love can bridge the gap between us. Now we need to show that our worlds can benefit from each other. But how do we start?" Ziana pondered for a moment, then smiled. "We start with what we know best: community. Maplewood has embraced us, and it's the perfect place to initiate this bridge. We can organize a cultural exchange, sharing Viridian knowledge, technology, and traditions with Earth, and vice versa. The idea quickly gained momentum. They shared their vision with their closest friends and allies in Maplewood, including Sandra Mills, the journalist who had first brought Ziana's story to the wider world. Sandra was enthusiastic about the project and offered to help spread the word. Over the next few weeks, Ziana and Ethan worked tirelessly to organize the first ever Earth-Viridia cultural exchange. They reached out to Viridia through the advanced communication technology Ziana had brought with her, seeking approval from the Viridian Council. To their delight, the council not only approved but also expressed interest in participating. The preparations involved careful planning and coordination. The town square of Maplewood was transformed into a hub of activity. Tents and stalls were set up, each representing different aspects of Viridian and Earth cultures. There were areas dedicated to food, technology, art, and music, all designed to showcase the unique contributions of each world. Ziana contacted her family on Viridia, explaining the importance of their endeavor. Her parents, Alara and Arian, were supportive and excited to see their daughter taking such a pivotal role in bridging the two worlds. They promised to send representatives, along with artifacts and samples of Viridian culture. The day of the exchange arrived, and Maplewood was abuzz with anticipation. The air was filled with the mingling scents of Viridian spices and earthly delicacies. Colorful banners fluttered in the breeze, bearing symbols from both worlds. The town square was alive with chatter, laughter, and the hum of curiosity. Ziana and Ethan stood at the entrance, greeting visitors and ensuring everything was running smoothly. Ziana wore a traditional Viridian dress, a flowing gown made of shimmering fabric that seemed to capture the light of the stars. Ethan wore a simple suit, a blend of earthly and Viridian styles, symbolizing the unity they were striving for. As the festivities began, Ziana and Ethan guided the visitors through the various exhibits. They showcased Viridian technology, including energy-efficient devices and advanced medical tools. The Viridian representatives demonstrated how their technology could benefit Earth, particularly in areas like sustainable energy and healthcare. In return, Earth's representatives displayed their own technological advancements and cultural heritage. There were demonstrations of traditional crafts, performances of music and dance, and presentations on Earth's scientific achievements. The exchange of knowledge and culture was met with awe and appreciation from both sides. One of the most popular exhibits was the food tent, where visitors could sample dishes from Viridia and Earth. The fusion of flavors was a testament to the possibilities of collaboration. Ziana watched with joy as people from both worlds shared meals and stories, their differences melting away over plates of delicious food. Throughout the day, Ziana and Ethan gave several speeches, emphasizing the importance of unity and understanding. They spoke of their journey, the challenges they had faced, and the love that had brought them together. Their words resonated deeply with the audience, inspiring hope and a sense of shared purpose. "Today is just the beginning," Ziana said, addressing the crowd. "We have taken the first step in bridging our worlds. Together, we can create a future where knowledge, culture, and love flow freely between Viridia and Earth. Let this exchange be a symbol of what we can achieve when we come together with open hearts and minds." The crowd erupted in applause, their enthusiasm and support palpable. Ziana felt a surge of pride and hope. They had done it. They had created a bridge between their worlds, a foundation upon which future connections could be built. As the day drew to a close, Ziana and Ethan stood together, watching the mingling crowds and the joyful interactions. The sky above was clear, the stars beginning to twinkle in the fading light. "We did it," Ziana Ethan said, his voice filled with emotion. "We've started something truly incredible." Ziana smiled, her heart full. "Yes, we did. And this is just the beginning. There's so much more we can achieve together." In the weeks that followed, the success of the cultural exchange echoed far beyond Maplewood. News spread across both Earth and Viridia, sparking interest and curiosity. Other towns and cities expressed a desire to host similar events, and collaborative projects began to take shape. Ziana and Ethan became ambassadors of this new era of unity, traveling between worlds to promote understanding and cooperation. They were invited to speak at conferences, universities, and international forums, sharing their vision of a future where love and knowledge bridged the gap between different worlds. Their efforts were not without challenges. There were still those who resisted change, who feared the unknown. But Ziana and Ethan remained steadfast, their love and commitment driving them forward. They knew that the journey would be long and difficult, but they also knew that it was worth every step. Back in Maplewood, life continued to thrive. The town had become a symbol of what was possible when people came together with open hearts. Ziana and Ethan's home became a gathering place for friends from both worlds, a haven of love and understanding. One evening, as they sat together on their porch, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of pink and gold, Ziana turned to Ethan. "We've come so far, Ethan. Sometimes it feels like a dream." Ethan smiled, his eyes reflecting the colors of the sunset. "It's a dream we've made real, Ziana, and there's still so much more to do. But as long as we're together, I know we can achieve anything." Ziana rested her head on his shoulder, feeling the warmth of his love. "I believe that too. Together, we'll continue to bridge our worlds to build a future where love knows no boundaries." As the stars began to appear in the night sky, Ziana and Ethan held each other close, their hearts filled with hope and determination. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever came their way. Their love was a beacon, a guiding light that would lead them through the challenges and triumphs ahead. And so, with hearts united and a vision for a better future, Ziana and Ethan continued their journey, knowing that the bond they shared was strong enough to bridge any distance, to overcome any obstacle. Together, they would build a legacy of love and understanding that would inspire generations to come, a testament to the power of connection between worlds. The success of the Earth-Viridia cultural exchange had cemented Ziana and Ethan's roles as pioneers of interplanetary unity. Their efforts inspired countless others, leading to a surge of collaboration and understanding between the two worlds. However, amidst their growing responsibilities and the excitement of their mission, Ziana felt a persistent tug at her heart, a longing for her homeland, Viridia. One crisp morning, as the first signs of spring began to thaw the winter chill, Ziana stood at the edge of Maplewood Forest, lost in thought. Ethan found her there, his presence a comforting warmth against the cool breeze. "What's on your mind, Ziana?" he asked, his voice gentle. She turned to him, her eyes reflecting a mix of emotions. "I've been thinking about Viridia. It's been so long since I left, and I feel it's time to go back. There's so much I want to share with my people, and I want them to meet you." Ethan took her hands in his, understanding her unspoken fears. "I'd love to visit Viridia with you. It's important that they see the person you've become and the love we share." With their decision made, Ziana and Ethan began preparations for their journey to Viridia. They informed their friends and allies in Maplewood, who expressed both excitement and concern for their well-being. Sandra Mills offered to document their journey, seeing it as another significant chapter in their story. The day of departure arrived quickly. They boarded a Viridian ship, the same sleek, silver vessel that had brought Ziana to Earth. As they ascended into the stars, Ethan marveled at the advanced technology and the beauty of space. Ziana watched him with a smile, knowing that this journey would be as transformative for him as it had been for her. The voyage through the cosmos was filled with wonder. They passed by swirling nebulae, distant galaxies, and shimmering star clusters. Ziana and Ethan spent their time on the observation deck, holding hands and sharing their thoughts about what awaited them on Viridia. Finally, after days of travel, the shimmering blue-green orb of Viridia came into view. Ethan's breath caught in his throat at the sight of the crystalline cities and lush landscapes that Ziana had described. As they descended through the atmosphere, the beauty of her home planet unfolded before them, more magnificent than he had ever imagined. The ship landed gracefully in Lyris, the heart of Viridia. Ziana's family awaited them at the celestial port, their faces a mixture of joy and anticipation. Alara, her mother, rushed forward, embracing Ziana with tears in her eyes. "My daughter, you've returned," Alara said, her voice choked with emotion. "We've missed you so much." Arion, Ziana's father, extended a hand to Ethan, his expression solemn but kind. "Welcome to Viridia, Ethan. We've heard much about you." "Thank you, sir. It's an honor to be here," Ethan replied, shaking Arion's hand. Lyra and Eric, Ziana's siblings, surrounded them with laughter and questions, their excitement palpable. Ziana introduced Ethan to each member of her family, feeling a sense of completeness she hadn't realized she had missed. As they made their way to the family's ancestral home, Ethan marveled at the architectural wonders of Lyris. The city was a blend of crystal and stone, with buildings that seemed to grow naturally from the earth, their surfaces shimmering in the light. Nature and technology coexisted in harmony, a testament to the Varadian way of life. The reunion with Ziana's family was filled with stories and laughter. They shared meals, with Ziana and Ethan introducing earthly dishes to her family, creating a fusion of flavors that symbolized their union. Alara and Arian listened intently as Ziana recounted her journey and the life she had built on Earth. One evening, as they sat in the garden under the twin moons of Varadia, Ziana broached the subject that had been on her mind. "Mother, Father, I want to share something with you. Ethan and I have been working to bridge the gap between Earth and Varadia. We believe that by sharing our knowledge and cultures, we can create a future where our worlds are united." Arian nodded thoughtfully. "Your mother and I have heard of your efforts. We are proud of what you've accomplished. But there are many in Varadia who are wary of change. They may not welcome this idea as readily as you hope." Ziana's heart sank at her father's words, but she remained resolute. "I understand their fears. But I believe that if they see the love and understanding Ethan and I share, it might change their minds." Alara placed a reassuring hand on her daughter's shoulder. "We will support you, Ziana. Your journey has always been about more than just finding your soulmate. It's about creating a legacy of love and unity." In the days that followed, Ziana and Ethan set out to introduce the people of Varadia to their vision. They organized gatherings, inviting representatives from various sectors: government, science, education, and the arts. They shared stories of their experiences on Earth, the success of the cultural exchange, and the potential benefits of a deeper connection between their worlds. At first, the response was mixed. Some Varadians were intrigued by the idea, while others were skeptical, fearing the loss of their traditions and identity. Ziana and Ethan faced tough questions and resistance, but they remained patient and open, addressing concerns with empathy and understanding. One pivotal moment came during a public forum held in the Grand Hall of Lyris. Ziana and Ethan stood before a large audience, their hearts pounding with anticipation. "My fellow Varadians," Ziana began, her voice steady. "I stand before you not just as a daughter of Varadia, but as someone who has experienced the beauty of another world. I have seen the possibilities that arise when we open our hearts and minds to new ideas. This is not about losing our identity, but about enriching it by learning from others." Ethan stepped forward, his presence commanding yet humble. "I come from Earth, a world that has its own struggles and triumphs. Meeting Ziana and learning about your world has been an incredible journey. I believe that by sharing our knowledge and cultures, we can create a brighter future for both our worlds." A murmur ran through the crowd, and then an elder Varadian, known for her wisdom and influence, stood up. "Change is never easy," she said, her voice calm but firm. "But we must remember that our ancestors embraced change to create the society we cherish today. Perhaps it is time for us to embrace it once more." Her words seemed to resonate with the audience. Slowly, more voices joined in support, expressing curiosity and a willingness to explore this new path. The tide was turning, and Ziana felt a surge of hope. In the following weeks, the momentum continued to build. Varadian scholars and scientists expressed interest in Earth's advancements, while artists and musicians from both worlds began to collaborate, creating works that blended their unique styles and traditions. The initial skepticism began to give way to excitement and possibility. Ziana and Ethan's efforts culminated in a grand celebration, symbolizing the official start of the Earth-Varadia partnership. Held in the heart of Lyris, the event was attended by dignitaries, citizens, and visitors from both worlds. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation and hope. As the celebration reached its peak, Ziana and Ethan stood together on a raised platform, addressing the crowd. "Today marks a new chapter in the history of our world," Ziana declared, her voice filled with emotion. "We have shown that love and understanding can bridge any gap. Let this partnership be a beacon of hope, a testament to what we can achieve when we come together with open hearts." Ethan nodded, his eyes shining with pride. "This is just the beginning. Together, we will build a future where our worlds are united in friendship and cooperation. A future where love knows no boundaries, The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers echoing through the crystal streets of Lyris. Ziana and Ethan felt a profound sense of accomplishment and joy. They had overcome countless obstacles, and now they stood at the dawn of a new era. As the celebration continued into the night, Ziana and Ethan found a moment of quiet together. They stood at the edge of the grand terrace, looking out over the city they had both come to love. "We did it," Ziana said, his voice filled with wonder. "We really did it." Ziana smiled, leaning into his embrace. "Yes, we did. And there's so much more to come. Our journey is far from over, but I know that together we can face anything." Ethan kissed her gently, his love for her evident in every touch. "Together, always." As the twin moons of Varadia rose high in the night sky, casting their gentle light over the world below, Ziana and Ethan stood united, ready to embrace the future. They knew that their love was a powerful force, capable of bridging worlds and creating a legacy that would inspire generations to come. In that moment, under the light of the moons and the stars, they felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. Their journey had brought them full circle, from the distant reaches of the cosmos to the heart of Varadia, and they were ready to continue their adventure, hand in hand, their hearts forever intertwined.